شباب تانية سياحه، ازيكم عاملين ايه؟ هنبدأ كده مع بعض تاني سيشن اللي هي عنوانها هيكون World Destinations Unit 2 في كتاب Tourism 1. تمام، عايزين هنا نتعلم ان احنا نوصف حاجتين. اول حاجة الديستنيشنز التوريزم بيكون عايز يروحها، تمام، يعني اهتمامات التوريزم بيكون فين، ايه اكتر الاماكن اللي هما بيحبوا يزوروها. دوري ان انا اكون عارف معلومات ايه الاماكن اللي هما بيزوروها. طبعا دي معلومات عامة كحد في السياحة، لكن الاهم ان انا اكون عارف اوصفها بالانجليش، اوصف الاماكن اللي هما بيحبوا يزوروها، اوصف ايه اكتر ديستنيشنز هما بيتارجتوا عليها. تمام، فهنبدأ كده مع بعض. انا جايبه لكم مجمع لكم اماكن كتير جدا وديستنيشنز كتير، هوصف لكم اكبر جزء منهم. والمطلوب منك في السيشن دي انت تختار مكان من اللي انا هقولهم وتعمل عليه انت الفيديو. يعني انت هتعمل فيديو لنفسك تاني، تختار اي مكان انا هشرحه دلوقتي، تاخد من نفس معلوماتي او تاخد معلومات غيرها براحتك خالص. المهم انك تفهم المعلومات دي، تجرب توصفهم زي ما انا هبدأ اوصفهم دلوقتي، وتبدأ توريني الفيديو بتاعك. جميل. لو انت مش عارف تسمع الانجليش او صعب عليك شويه تسمعه او في كلمات بتقع منك وهكذا، هتلاقي في الديسكريبشن بتاع اليوتيوب، الديسكريبشن بوكس بتاعته، هتلاقي فيها السكريبت اللي انا بقول منه. انا المره دي هحاول انطق بشويش خالص على قد ما اقدر، وانتوا اكيد مع الوقت هتتعودوا تسمعوا، تعودوا على الصوت الانجليش، فالدنيا تبقى ابسط بالنسبه لكم. Amsterdam is best known for its artistic heritage, elaborate canal system and shore houses that were built by in the 17th century. Cycling is also essential to the city's character and culture, which make it easy to go around this amazing city. Visitors also come to see the red light district with the iconic red neon windows and clubs with various different shows. Japan's busy capital has a perfect mix of being ultra-modern and traditional in a pink city, from neon lights character to historic temples. Some of the capital spots are the Tokyo Tower and Shenzhen. Rio de Janeiro is a huge-sized city in Brazil that's known for its beautiful coastline and incredible culture. Here you can visit the iconic Jesus Christ statue on Mount Corcovado and climb up to the top of the cliff mountain for some breathtaking views. Orlando is home to more than a dozen theme parks, but claim to famous well-designed world in Universal Orlando, which grabbed in all of us. New York City is really the city would never sleep. It has amazing eats, extravagant Broadway plays, beautiful art museums, and so much more. Bali is an amazing Indonesian island known for its forested volcanic mountain, iconic beaches, and coral reefs. Come here for the ultimate relaxation vacation. Riviera Maya is a stretch of the Caribbean coastline in Mexico. There is known for its relaxing and all-inclusive resorts and its long beaches. Chile stretches across South America, researching for the dresses dressed on each of two vast southern Atlantic fields. Canada is a super great place to visit and gives you all the experience you'll ever need. You could enjoy the beautiful Rocky Mountain landscape and Palm, including in a rich cultural city of Montreal and impart on fast-paced lives of Tornado Guine, California is always a good idea from the iconic city Los Angeles. Los Angeles, you'll go all the way down the Pacific Coast Highway to San Francisco and enjoy the beautiful coast. The Gold Coast in Australia is a coast in Brisbane and is famed for its long sandy beaches and perfect surfing sports. New England is a northeastern region of the United States comprising the state of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Boston is a Legends Cup and super fun and historic city to visit. Stuff your face with the best pizza and pasta is some of the most beautiful cities in the world. In the country's capital, Rome, you could find the vacation as well as Asian ruins. The major sites include tourism with licensed masters such as McNicholas David and Vines. The city is Canal and Milan Italy fashion capital, known as a hidden gem in Hawaii. Hawaii offers some of the most beautiful green, screening, and multiple natural landmarks such as the Wame Canyon woven falls to the Bali Coast, Queen's Bath, and some much more. Hawaii is definitely a must-do. Spain Spain is a country in Europe that contains 17 autonomous regions with a diverse geography and many cultures. Here, you could find the famous Portugal, the Slide Glide FM media of the Pesco Museum. Some other notable spots are Madrid, Ibiza, and Majorca. Dubai is a city in the United Arab Emirates that's known for luxury, shopping, ultra-modern architecture, and a lively nightlife scene. Singapore is a city, state, in southern Malaysia that's known as a global financial hub and one of the most lucrative places to visit. Each one of the Greek islands such as Ios, Mykonos, and Santorini, just to name a few, offer something special and unique, but they are all tied to a long history and culinary adventure. Switzerland is a mountainous country in Europe that's home to numerous lakes, villages, and the highest peaks of the Alps. Some of the top places to visit are Interlaken and Grindelwald, which both giving you an ultra-intense vibe. طيب انا كده وصفت لك الاماكن، فهتلاقي الاساينمنت المره دي حوالي 20 ثانيه او نص دقيقه بالكتير ان انت هتكتب عن مكان انت شايف انه بيجذب السياح، ومجرد ما هتتكلم عنه جملتين 3. الفكره انك توصفه وصف كويس، تقول ان هو مثلا المكان شيق، هتتكلم عن الكالتشرز اللي موجودة في المكان ده، هتتكلم عن اهم المعالم السياحية اللي ممكن شخص يزورها. المهم بالنسبة لي انك تكون قادر توصف المكان. لو محتاج اي مساعدة ممكن تتواصل معايا على جوجل كلاس روم او على كومنت هنا او على الواتساب. شكرا ليكم. هكمل دلوقتي فيديو بيتكلم برضو عن الاماكن اللي كان بيوصفهم باسلوب مختلف، بمعنى ان انا كنت بقولك اهم المعالم السياحيه، لكن الفيديو التاني ده بيقولك ايه الاسلوب اللي ممكن تجذب بيه سائح للمكان ده، من باب ان انت تكون بتتدرب على الانجليش وبتتدرب على جمل مختلفه للديسكرايبنج بليس، بس في نفس الوقت بكذا طريقه. تمام، اسمعوا الفيديو، وسواء هتعمل الاساينمنت من الجزء اللي فات او من الجزء اللي جاي مفيش مشكله. المهم انك تتدرب ازاي توصف اماكن، والسكريبت بتاع الاتنين فيديوز هتلاقوه مكتوب في الديسكريبشن بوكس.
We've been to some pretty cool places in the last couple of years, and while it's difficult to choose, if you're looking to travel in 2020, here are my top 10 places I think you should consider. Switzerland. I'm not sure that it even has to be said, but the Jungfrau region of Switzerland is truly unforgettable. A real juxtaposition to the many cities that I've included on this list. The Jungfrau region is the land of quiet and quaint. Here you will find villages that are straight out of a storybook, truly. Nestled into the sides of mountains, dotted with chalets, and filled with the sounds of cowbells and rustling trees, come prepared to spend your days repeating the following steps. Hop aboard a train, ride to a village, grab a picnic, find a trailhead, and explore. Complete said activity with a picnic at the summit, go home, rest, and repeat. Lake Como, Italy. Lake Como has a particularly special place in our hearts as it was the first overseas trip that we took as a family. But there's a reason beyond that it is on this list. Lake Como is nestled up at the foothills of the Swiss Alps. It's a massive lake lined with the most darling, colorful villas. The entire scene just screams respite, with tiny cafes, charming town squares, and endless nature to explore. All of that with the added bonus of it being in Italy with comfort Italian food. I mean, it just might be my favorite place on earth. New York City. If you're subscribed to this channel, then you've recently heard me gush about New York City in detail. There is no place like it. The energy in New York City is unmatched with its skyscrapers and theaters and go, 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 get shit done energy, paralleled then with its stunning waterfront views and gorgeous parks. It also happens to be one of the greatest food cities in the world, a true multicultural destination with nearly every cuisine to prove it. That, combined with the fact that everything is open late for late night adventures and snacking, it is and forever will be at the top of my list. Hong Kong. Though it is an increasingly complex place to visit, it is a must-see city. It's difficult to put the vibrance that is Hong Kong into words, but picture this. A city with some of the tallest and most decorative skyscrapers, surrounded by lush, exceptionally beautiful nature, set on the water with ferries crisscrossing day and night. While the views are certainly a part of what sets Hong Kong apart, there is so much more to this destination. The food stands out as some of the best I've had in all of my travels. With exceptional dedication to the craft, the food that you eat in Hong Kong will be difficult to find elsewhere at that caliber. Once you've taken in all that this city has to offer, make sure to explore its surroundings. With beaches no more than 10 minutes outside of the city and charming fishing harbors just a ferry ride away, Hong Kong is truly the perfect coming together of the hustle and bustle of the new and the timeless character and culture of the old. Iceland. Yes, I know you've probably heard enough about Iceland to last a lifetime, and honestly, before going myself, I felt the same way. But Iceland is more than deserving of all of the buzz. The only word that does this place justice is otherworldly. Its vast craters, unmatched horizons, and black sand beaches, Iceland presents nature that honestly, if I hadn't seen with my own eyes, I could have been convinced it was supernatural. At every stop, we found ourselves with jaws dropped and cameras at the ready, taking in the blue lagoons, miles of volcanic land, and thermal energy radiating off the hillsides. We went in winter, but Iceland is beautiful year-round. For us, it was the perfect time to commune with nature, each other, and all of the thermal pools. Edinburgh, Scotland. If you, like me, are a lover of Harry Potter and forever find yourself dreaming of finding a place like Hogwarts, look no further than Edinburgh. The land of cobblestone streets and castles sitting at the top of a hill looking down at the city. We went full into Scotland vibes with stops in each and every tweed shop, afternoon tea in the historic library, and English breakfast every single day. Edinburgh is entirely walkable with streets lined with the cutest little shops and perfect cafes for a cup of tea. Once you've guzzled down that cup with cream and sugar because you're not dumb, go hike Arthur's Seat and become convinced that you have officially discovered where the term rolling hills comes from. Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo, as you've likely heard, is the epitome of metropolitan. Its crowded city streets and lit from the ground up skyscrapers have certainly played a large part in defining this city and putting it on the map. And while those are a sight to see, just behind them, there is so much more to explore. With one of the most efficient public transport systems in the world, you can visit each and every corner of this city for drastically different experiences, each of them both a literal feast and a figurative one. Tiny, quiet streets lined with secondhand shops full of the most wonderful treasures, food that is not only treated as a foundational part of the culture, but as a true art form, and shrines surrounded by dense, stunning forests. A trip to Tokyo feels like a trip simultaneously into the future and the past. Southern Utah. I've raved about Southern Utah before, and I'll rave about it again. It is one of my favorite destinations year-round. If you are even remotely an outdoorsy person, you absolutely have to have Southern Utah on your bucket list. With its could have been designed by Dr. Seuss structures and endless narrow tunnels, it is the perfect destination for all hikers, beginner or advanced. Every time we find ourselves there, it's hard to believe and take in how out of the world this nature is. In many ways, it feels like you're on another planet. Portugal. Portugal, with its vast beaches and quaint metropolises, is a destination I cannot stop recommending. Its long coast along the Atlantic Ocean is dotted with charming towns that are perfect for a day or two-long stopover, making it an ideal location for a European road trip. Portugal brings it on every front, with its romantic cities, rich history, and picturesque beaches. You honestly cannot go wrong there. Also, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't personally advise you to eat your weight in pastéis de nata. Just do it. Trust me, do it.
Wow.
Taiwan. Taiwan is my favorite place that I traveled to in 2019. So much so that it's already on my bucket list for a round 2. There's just so much to see. We spent the bulk of our time in Taipei and its surrounding areas, and honestly, I found myself confused at why I hadn't heard more about this place. The city itself is lined with residentials shrouded with tropical plants that lead to these busy streets that are jam-packed with scooters. And these riders are like in this wildly chaotic but seemingly choreographed dance, just going about their days. There are so many things that make Taiwan special. Namely, the extremely welcoming and kind people, the food, so much good food, and the nature that is just a short trip outside of the city. We spent time in some of the most picturesque villages experiencing street food, making our own tea, and hiking into the fog-lined mountains. Taiwan was filled with spots that felt almost dreamlike, with their vibrant colors and intense nature and wild landscape. There are so many places in the world to explore, and I am certainly determined to see more of them. If you have any suggestions, make sure to include those below. I'd love to hear yours. And here's to more traveling. This video is sponsored by Storyblocks. Storyblocks is a one-stop shop for stock footage, After Effects templates, really everything you need to make your video better. Here's the thing, I don't recommend anything I don't personally use on this channel. They have gorgeous footage from all around the world,